wise to address the food that we have to eat, to address the stress that we have to come into daily? Have you done anything to meet that with the new development coming here? Or do we have to, again, sacrifice our energy and our money and our efforts instead of trying to rally for a new mayor for things that should not happen in the first place? You are actively displacing people that can hold you accountable, and you are allowing people that do not suffer the way that we suffer to sit here and lie. Sit here and lie. They don't care about their rights. Take their rights away. Our people died for the right to vote in this country, and we will die to keep it. Yonkers cannot afford a human rights violation lawsuit. Again. Let's forget it. Again. 10 seconds.
Council President, Council, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to vote. My name is Ron Madden. I live in Yonkers for the last 60 years on and off. I think Mike Spano's done a great job. I stood in the other chamber 4 years ago, and I advocated Spano to get another 4 years because we were in a situation where the city really needed it. We were short on funds. We were running deficits. The schools were in a poor position. We're not there now. This shouldn't be about Mike Spano. This should be about the principle of term limits and whether or not they were voted for a referendum or whether or not this council has the power to vote for that. By law, this council has the power to vote for that. Under New York State municipal law, this council has the power to vote for that. But is it principled and is it right? And I say no. The people should have the choice in passing those votes. The council should not be able to vote to further themselves, and it shouldn't be about Mayor Spano. Again, Mayor Spano's done a fantastic job, but this should be about the principle of allowing people to either overturn the referendum that was put in by law or not. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Hello, my name is Kim Ortiz, and I'm speaking on behalf of our CVH member who couldn't come tonight because she was out really late last night. She's 77 years old, so I'm going to read this on her behalf. It is apparent yet again that the people on this council do not listen to, care, or even consider the very people who have elected them. Yesterday was a mockery of what a public process should look like, and the disrespect that the speakers endured and are still enduring will always be remembered. You cannot speak of democracy anymore. We will call you out on your hypocrisy at every turn. Every single pandering efforts on your behalf will fail. One way or the other, you will listen to the will of the people, and everyone who helps this pass should feel ashamed. Thank you.
I don't know why I can't get it on Facebook. It's what I see.
Hi, my name's Eileen O'Connor. I'm a Yonkers resident, 27 years with my spouse and daughter. I live in the Ludlow Park neighborhood. I'm a Ward 4, Democratic Ward 4 leader, not a district leader. I've been, very much involved with a lot of the civic activities in Yonkers as long as I've been here, and I deeply love this city. And what is happening with this term limit extension is just not right. You had 4 years to figure out, to put this on a referendum and let the people decide. On the one hand, Mike Spano is saying, yes, so, I'm not gonna run for another term. We've got good candidates who can pick up the ball and run with it. And then it all changed. Part of the issue is that, there's too much on one person and not enough cultivation of candidates who can step up and run for mayor. That's a problem, but that's not the issue here. The issue here is that the people of Yonkers should be allowed to vote on this. Put it before the people and see what they say. I think that that's really the only fair way to have a fair vote without a conflict of interest on the part of our city council members. It just, just doesn't feel right. So I am, having 16 people over for Thanksgiving for the first time in 2 years, and and more, really want to be here to have my voice heard when I should be home cleaning up my house and getting ready to have my family over. I think that this is, what is happening now during a holiday season. It just is so. It's just not right. It just feels really underhanded. We're going to try to get this on the ballot one way or another, and it's gonna be the voice of the entire electorate, not just a chosen few. So be ready for that, and we're fighting for small d democracy here. This is not Republican, not Democratic. This is democracy that we're fighting for, and thank you very much.
I don't know why I can't get it on Facebook. Anybody?
Good evening, council members and the community. I'm Peter Bernstein. I'm the chapter chair of the Westchester Putnam Working Families Party. We're very interested. We're watching this. We don't have an opinion. We're really on the particular individuals involved. Our position isn't that Mike Spano should or should not have another 4 years. Our position is that the voters voted for term limits. Let the voters decide whether to change it or not. Very simple. Because you're never going to you get opinions up here, we all got opinions. Are like, well, no. but you're never going to know from this, like, what the people of Yonkers really want, right? Call for a referendum. If the people of Yonkers want to do away with term limits, like some people say, Congress people can run again and again, but presidents can't, right? I love Barack Obama. He got his 8 years, couldn't get him for more. So, let the people decide. If people decide to do away with the term limits, then people can decide to vote for Mike Spano again. But for you guys to overrule, you did it once, right? But to do it again, it's just not right. So the Working Families Party we're watching this. We're concerned about this. We got endorsement interviews coming up. We take this very, 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 very seriously. So, do the right thing.
Oh, that's why. No, you guys should have put that in the comment, man. Oh, maybe you did. No, it's not. It's the haters. It's the haters. The haters. Get out of here. Anyway, folks, we'll wait till they come back on and see what the vote's going to be, folks. Listen, they did it again. They put, people that are in support of the, extending the terms. They put them first for the most part. But I want to say that Keisha Skipper's son, 16-year-old son, went up there and he spoke and he did an amazing job. I mean, how can they not listen to the people? It's obvious that the people that went up there to support it were supporting for a reason other than because they cared about democracy and even really the community or Yonkers. One of the people that went up was an actor. And I think a few of them were actors, actually. And they went up there and they read these scripts. You can totally tell that they were, written for this specifically, not really with any true organic passion. They just wanted to prove that Mike Spano deserves another 4 years and we should vote for it, or they should vote for it. I don't know, folks. I'm trying to see if we get this on now. Still on break. So I guess they're going to be voting now. Is that what's going to be happening? Did you guys see the elderly woman, the senior citizen that went up to speak? Shout out to you, Carolyn. You went up to speak. And there was a young lady that went up to speak. She actually pulled me to the side and got my information. And she said, she said one thing. She said, the people that were there, booing and stuff like that, all DPW guys. And she said that that's a reflection of the leadership, right? They're booing, they're being disrespectful. They even booed the elderly woman that came out. And she says, I'm an activist. I was very involved politically when I was younger, back in the 90s. I don't remember what year, but she hadn't been involved in a while. So, but she had to come out because she could not just stand by and watch this happen. So she came out, and she was booed by men. You guys in the back, that's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful. And that's not okay, man. And that just goes to show, everyone, what you guys represent as men booing elderly women. They all state only they can continue progress. But not too long ago, many of them were newcomers and their predecessors honored term limits, which allowed them to run. Now they claim nobody can succeed. Well, we all know that's BS. We all know that's, last time it was because, we want to, match the term limits to the county. So we want to do 3. And this time it's because we want to continue the progress. But the progress, if you want to call it that, just started within the past 2 or 3 years. You've been in office 12 years. So what have you been doing for the past 10 years? There was no progress there. But they're coming back on, so let's watch.
2022. This is the stated meeting of the Yonkers City Council. Mr. Clerk, please read the roll.
Council President Collins Bellamy.
Here.
Majority Leader Diaz.
Present.
Majority Whip Rubo. Here. Minority Leader Breen. Here. Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Pineda Isaac.
Here.
Councilmember Moranti. Here.
I ask that everyone stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask that everyone remain standing for a brief moment of silence on behalf of the victims of the Colorado Springs shooting and Yonkers residents who recently passed, Miss Sina Scott, Kurt Flo Darby, and my brother, Dr. Ronell Cook. Thank you. Please be seated.
Minutes of the stated meeting held on November 9th, 2022, and special meeting held on November 15th, 2022. Approved on motion, Majority Leader Diaz.
Minutes duly accepted.
Madam President, our first item on the agenda is a local law amending Chapter C, Article 2 of the Charter of the City of Yonkers entitled Officers in Relation to Term Limits.
I will open the floor for discussion on this item. We'll start with Councilmember Moranti.
Thank you, Council President. Tonight, I will not be supporting this item. I want to thank the speakers that came out tonight and last night. Very intelligent city we have here. They did a great job stating their case. A lot of them, though, didn't hit the nail on the head because they keep talking about Mike Spano. Mike Spano's not on this resolution as far as I can see. It's about term limit extension.
That's right.
When we voted back in 2018, I did say yes. I said yes because it was a one-shot deal. As I was saying to one of the attendees tonight, the eighth year sneaks up on you. And sometimes, you find yourself in a position where it just seems that you need a little more time. And when I did a lot of soul searching, it was right to the very end. I was a no vote back then. And then I said, as long as it's a one shot, it doesn't affect me. I was only in my first year, my first term. It wasn't about me. It was about the city of Yonkers. So I said, all right, we'll give it a shot. Now here, again, please, I have a total respect for Mike Spano. Like I said, again, he's a good friend. I go back. I was sitting with him when he lost his primary to Phil Almacone in 2003, I believe it was. I was right there with him. Phil Almacone reminded me every time I got there. I think you supported Mike Spano. So I had to deal with that for 8 years with Phil. Anyway, so we had plenty of time to put this as a referendum to the people. Plenty of time. Why didn't we do it? If everyone was concerned that if this was about Mike and this was attached to a referendum, it would have passed. But that's not what the people want. The people chose twice to take the term limits. Mr. Bernstein said it perfectly. The people voted term limits. The people should vote to change term limits. That's the bottom line. I don't think there's anything. I think that's it. That says it all. So tonight, I will not be supporting this. I'll be voting no. And I can tell you one other thing. If you guys do vote this on, okay, I can guarantee you, one way, shape, or form, there will be a referendum on next year's ballot to bring it back to 3. Take it to the bank. Thank you, Madam President.
Bring it back to 2, Moranti.
Thank you, Councilman Moranti. Do any of the other council members want to speak on this item? Councilman Rubo.
Thank you, Council President. And to each and every one of the residents who came out and took time out of their days, either last night or today, to come and participate, thank you for participating in the process. Whether you voiced your opinion in favor of or against the extension of term limits, your voice has clearly been heard. We live in a democratic republic, a government of elected representatives who enact laws. My city council colleagues and I each represent a different district across this great city. We each have a constituency to represent. I know, and I am comfortable, that my vote tonight will reflect the vast majority of how my constituents feel. Last night, the words of Dr. Amir Rabadi stuck with me. The past 3 years have been a challenge. COVID caused great despair. I firmly believe that reasonable people, and this city is made up of reasonable people, can agree that the way in which Mayor Mike Spano led us through those trying times was an example of true leadership. Leadership that this city would not have had if the residents of this city did not have a choice to re-elect him in 2019. To re-elect him in 2019. This is about, as my constituents said last night, this is not anointing Mike Spano. If he runs, he has to be re-elected. The practical implications of term limits as they exist today is artificially suppressing the choice of our residents. I'm voting in favor of giving the people of my district and the people of Yonkers a choice. And
DPW workers excited that they will not be fired and they will still have their jobs.
But after hearing the vast majority on paper and in speech, it is now up to them. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Minority Leader Breen,
Thank you, Madam Council President.
please keep the outbursts
My-
to a minimum.
My remarks are brief. We've had a lot of remarks these last 2 nights. A lot of talk has been about the democratic process, but the election process still exists. The House of Representatives, the state, the Senate in Washington, New York State Assembly, and the New York State Senate all run for re-election without term limits. The process still exists. Candidates have to get petitions, candidates have to go door to door, they have to election to get elected. So we're not thrusting anyone as a dictator, we're not changing the terms, we're making the process similar to what it has been or is in other parts of our government. So I will be supporting this tonight. I think, as someone said the other night, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think the mayor's done a wonderful job, and I will be supporting this legislation. Thank you.
You say this is not about changing terms? Wow, that guy, he's getting a job. Mike Green's getting a job. You hear that, feds? FBI, he's going to get a job. And John Rubel was promised to be deputy mayor.
Thank you, Madam Council President. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for being here today. And first, I'd like to excuse my cough outburst. I'm not feeling too great. But, yesterday, today, and throughout this entire process, it really does excite me to see this much engagement. It is my wish that it continues on the many important topics and matters that come before the City Council. But I think what's most important about today is the how and not the what or the who. I think what is most concerning and what feels most disenfranchising about all of this is how it has all occurred. On October 21st, I, along with Majority Leader and the Council President, we were at the Chima Center for the 3rd Precinct Police Council meeting. And at that meeting, we were questioned about what our position was for term limits. My colleague stated at that meeting that that topic was just a rumor and that they didn't have a position and were focused on the city issues that were before us. 3 weeks later, it's no longer a rumor. Let's continue to go through that timeline. Now fast forward to November 10th. The item is introduced and the local law before us with relation to term limits it's on the record. That Tuesday, we have a Rules Committee meeting, and Councilman Rubel stated that this topic had been discussed at length. I asked my colleague across the aisle that how many examples can you show me that this item was discussed at length? Because what measuring stick are you using to show the length of that discussion? Because I have not seen that. Please allow me to finish. Last Tuesday, November 15th, was the first time that we as a caucus even spoke about it. All 5 of us. And that was hardly a conversation. That same Tuesday, a public hearing / town hall was scheduled for the following Monday, and a vote was scheduled for today. So from introduction to today, it has been 10 days. 10 days, ladies and gentlemen. Our town hall yesterday, it did last 4.5 hours, and that was great. We had about 90 speakers, and percentage-wise, that is 0.045% of the 200,000 residents that live here. So we want to create a consensus, or we're creating a consensus from the opinions of 0.45% of residents that spoke yesterday. And you say that the majority of them spoke in favor. That's fine. But 90 people out of 200,000 have given their opinion yesterday in public. We have 475 letters in support, 43 letters against, a petition with 342 names that have signed it against. And I give you these numbers to highlight that these numbers may seem large, but in relation to the 200,000 plus residents that reside here, that is not nearly enough to make a decision of this magnitude. Earlier this year, this body passed a law that changed how landlords were required to take out the garbage. We didn't get nearly as many emails or a response as we did with term limits. And yet, that launch was pushed to 2023. So we're being more considerate about how we deliver trash regulations, and instead we're treating the people's will and their right like trash. How many times are we gonna do this? We did it in 2018. Now we're doing it in 2022. I believe that 4 years from now, the proposal is gonna come before us again. And 4 years from then, and we're just gonna keep setting this precedent that we can continue, that this body can continue to do this. We cannot. It's not about one person, it's about what we're doing and how we're doing it. Dr. Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people forget what you said, they forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. How we are making people feel by striping them away of the opportunity to make this choice themselves is insane. I've heard that the referendum voted by the people in 1996 and in 2002 are outdated and do not reflect how people feel now. I've heard that from folks. If that is a fact, all many of us are asking you to do is allow people to prove that. Prove to us that what many of you are assuming is the will of the people. Right. We're making that assumption because we haven't given this enough time to really determine if this is truly the consensus that comes from the people. If this body truly felt that voting for this ourselves was the best course of action, then we should have begun this conversation in January, in February, in March, in April, in June, in May, in September, in October, but we did not. On November 10th, this item was introduced.
Oh, wow.
On November 22nd, we are voting for it. We should have noticed in numerous town halls on the east side, on the west side, above ground, underground, in people's homes, in churches, in community rooms. We should have tried to reach every corner of our city if we, this body, wanted to vote for this. We should have allowed real engagement from constituents and created a real process. The amount of time that we've given this is disrespectful, and for that reason, I will be voting no.
About time for our song, and they wonder why I didn't go hard on you. Because I was trying to let you come out of your shell. Now please, don't ever disappoint me again, girl. Hit that gavel, because you're the one that introduced it. Look at the face that introduced it. Why? Because she don't care about politics. She is going to be a judge. That's right. That's right. All you disrespectful guys, not all of them for DPW, but the few that chose to come there and be disrespectful.
We will not allow outbursts in the courtroom.
In the mirror. I dare you go home and kiss your mommies this holiday, being disrespectful to women. That's right. That's right, Lakeisha. Look, now she's gonna cut it off. Now she's gonna cut it off. Now she's gonna cut it off. How you doing, Brenda? What's going on?
If the outbursts continue, we will ask you to leave. Once again, if the outbursts continue, you will be removed.
Her former brother-in-law got a promotion as captain because she's doing this.
Is there any other council member that would like to speak on this item?
She's doing this.
Disrespect the people's vote.
That's right.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Disrespect the people.
Councilwoman Williams.
Woman is
Thank you, Council
disrespecting the
President.
people. Don't ever talk about respect again.
Good evening, everyone. Let's open up this book. So, we've heard a lot from a lot of you here in the audience from the public hearing we held yesterday. A lot of people come out, a lot of people have emailed, a lot of people have called my office. I've had many conversations with different people, both for and against it. And I have to say that it really broke my heart to sit and hear so many people say that the council voting on local laws is undemocratic, because it's not in my opinion. I think, we live in a democracy where we all get to vote every time there's an election, and that hasn't changed. and that will not change. You, the people, have elected every single one of us here on the city council to represent you. You elected us so that we can make the easy and the hard decisions for the city of Yonkers. It is our job to vote on local laws. It is our job to vote on special ordinances. It is our job to vote on resolutions and the like. It is our job to make sure that the city's budget gets done every year and that all departments and city services are functioning to benefit you, the residents of Yonkers. It is our job to make amendments to local laws as needed because we know that things change over time and the city has to change and go with the times. Now, all that being said, I have to acknowledge the history that Yonkers have with term limits. I have to acknowledge all the comments that people made about the votes in the 90s and early 2000. I was probably in Jamaica in the 94, so I wasn't here. I couldn't vote. I didn't have a say. And it didn't matter because we know that there's people here today who voted back then, and we know how important it was. For whatever reason you voted to allow for term limits back then, it doesn't matter what it is, but you wanted it for a reason. It was highly important to you back then, and it still is now. And so I want you to know that I hear you. I understand this is not an easy topic. It was not an easy vote for me personally when I voted in 2018 to extend term limits, but I did it for a good reason. I did it because it made sense. It made sense to have local government matched up with the countywide government so that there's 12 years on all levels. That made sense to me. But here we are once more with the same subject, and I just don't see the logic. I don't, if I'm being honest. This is not a matter of who has done what over the years and how great our mayor is, because I can agree with many of you. Mayor Spano has done a great job. I love the mayor, we work together, we also fight. So he's done some things that I'm not so happy with, but it's not about him. It's not about, the development. It's not about any of the issues that so many of you have raised. It's about the principle. It's about the fact that we've done this once before. We voted to extend term limits by way of the city council. So to be fair, it makes sense to me to vote by public referendum. That is the right thing to do. It's evident to me that with all of the support in this room and with all of the majority of the communications that we received from you, from the public, is in favor of voting for an extension. So it makes sense to me, without a doubt, that if we had put this on the ballot in November, it would have passed flying colors. And we wouldn't be here fighting amongst ourselves over this issue because you, the people, would have spoken. But why didn't we do that? The question, is for all of you to answer. I'm not going to answer that, but it's a little too late now. And so here we are. It's on our desk. We have to vote. Again, I want to remind people, this is not about the mayor. This is about the future of the city of Yonkers. This is about the principle, and it's about just being fair. So I will not be voting this time around to extend term limits.
I didn't know what she
was going to do. I know that, as a representative, I can comfortably say that I do not know if my entire district is for or against extending term limits.
They're against it.
Because I've only heard from a very small fraction of the people that I represent. I can say in the same breath that not everyone vote during elections. And so even as a public referendum, we still wouldn't hear from every single person in the city of Yonkers. It's just unlikely. I'm not going to be delusional about that. But again, it's about the principle. We do the best we can. We put the issues out there. We put the information out there, and we let the people vote. That's where I stand on it. And I will encourage anyone, myself and Councilmember Moranti, we have a resolution that we did introduce calling for a public referendum for 2023. So regardless, we can still work. And if the public want to reverse whatever decision is made tonight or not, you will have that option next year.
That's why. You bogus.
Again, I just want to remind everyone that every time there's an election, there's term limits. Every time there's an election, you get the opportunity to get out and to vote and you get to decide if that incumbent gets another term or not. So do not be discouraged. No matter what happens tonight, just know that your vote matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, we're gonna come hard this coming election,
I can
folks.
honestly say that this is probably the toughest vote that I've
No, it's
taken
not. Your husband getting a
since
job
being on the
YPD.
council.
You're getting benefits.
Since I introduced this legislation,
Gotta be a judge.
I prayed, I researched. Please do not interrupt me. Thank you. I prayed, I did research. I talked to people. It wasn't just a decision that I thought of in my mind and said, you know what, that's what I'm running with. I thought about it. It kept me up at night. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up and I'm thinking about it. And then on Sunday, I got a phone call after going to church, because I went to church because I needed to be in the house of the Lord for him to talk to me about what he wanted me to do. And after I got home from church, I got a phone call from my cousin's
Sell out the people.
child's mother asking me to get to Lawrence Hospital because they had been in a car accident. And I got there expecting to find my brother laid up in a hospital bed, but okay. And then the doctor notified me that my cousin didn't make it, and he was in a car accident with his 18-year-old son in the car. And his son was rushed to Westchester Medical Center and was having to have emergency surgery. And that very moment put this all in perspective for me. I wish that I could vote for 4 more years of my cousin's life. We're fighting about something that is not going to end our lives.
What?
But I still took it seriously. So much so, my cousin's son did not know that his father didn't make it in that accident.
Please, man, our
And
condolences.
because he had
Believe
to
your
have
personal
emergency
business
surgery, we
out of
withheld
this.
that information from him. And he knew that I was the one that went to check on his dad after the accident. So when I walked in the room, he said, Auntie Keisha, is my dad okay? And I looked him in the eyes and I said, mm-hmm. And he said, are you telling me the truth? And I almost broke because I knew that I was lying to him and his father was dead. But instead, I said, focus on your surgery and we'll talk about it later. So on yesterday, his mom was telling him that his father was dead, and I was listening to you all. So if you don't think I care about you and your opinion, please know that I put you before my own family and telling my cousin's son that he was dead. And it may not move some of you. I don't need your condolences. I don't need your sympathy, but what I do need is my family. And I realized then that there was nothing more important.
Yeah, and you sent your CPS and bullshit to my family. I don't want to hear none of that.
Term limit. All of this can be done and undone. Death cannot be undone. So I ask you all, as passionate as you are, we may disagree, we may agree. I am the only person on this council that represents the entire city. So it's a harder task because I'm tasked with representing the interests of you all. I went so far as to have a conversation with my 16-year-old son when taking him to school because I just wanted input, asking everyone how you felt about it.
Agree.
And we had an insightful conversation.
You're supposed to leave this up out of
And I
this.
still
Has nothing to do
here
with this.
tonight, not sure, but I wanted to speak up because so many people have spoken their own narrative because I have been silent. So thank you, Ms. Parker, for having the conversation with me today and saying to speak my truth. I am not going to be a judge in January. I am an attorney.
Oh, shit.
That is, of course, a dream of mine.
That's me.
But why would I walk away from something that I worked so hard for just last year? It doesn't make sense. But that's the narrative that people ran with because they expect you to sell your soul. I'm never selling my soul.
You have.
I will
Yes, you did.
away
Yes, you did.
before I
Black
sell my
people are
soul
being
for
removed from this city
anything.
at the highest rate
Not
of
to
any
be council
group
president,
because they can't
not
afford
to
to
be a
live
municipal
here.
housing authority employee, because the only title that matters to me in this world is mom. People said I was selling my vote for my husband to be a cop. Like my husband works at a supermarket or has some trivial job. My husband is a corrections officer and has been
Ain't nobody
for
dissing
7
your
years.
husband by saying
He's
that.
worked for New York State Corrections. Right now he works for Westchester County Corrections. He's been through the hardest academy in New York State. Okay? He doesn't need a job. He has a career. If I was selling my vote for my husband to be a cop, my husband would be in uniform right now. There's no way I would vote for something that I have to wait for. My husband took the test last year when it was available, like anyone else could have taken the exam. My husband passed that exam before I was council president. I'm not selling my vote for a job to come down the line. If I'm selling my vote, I want it now.
You are selling your vote, and the fact that you have to try to sit
I'm
here
not selling my vote for
and
$1.
prove to us that
At the
you're
end of
not,
my name
that
is
tells me you
Esquire.
are.
So the next time you refer to me as Little Black Puppet, put Little Black Puppet Esquire.
She's talking to me, folks. She's talking to me, folks.
I earned that.
She's talking to me, folks.
When I was taking time away from my son to go to law school, I earned that.
Wow.
When I graduated, he walked with me across the stage, I earned that. No one gave it to me. No one can take it away. Last night, people said, how do you sleep at night? Honey, I haven't. My cousin is dead. I've been up crying every night. So to answer your question, I haven't slept. But be mindful and be graceful when you ask these questions, because at the end of the day, we are humans. And I ask you to give us grace. You said we should be ashamed of ourselves. You're disappointed in us. And I thought about that for a minute and said, you know what? The only person this side of heaven that I'm concerned about being disappointed in me is my son, Justin. Anyone else, your opinion is just that, an opinion. I will do what I feel is ethical, what I feel is right, because that law license, I'm still paying for it in student loans. So I'm not willing to jeopardize it, not for anyone else whose name is not Justin Cruz. Understand? So I wanted to explain my narrative because people have run with so much, and you can believe it or you cannot, but I'm being truthful and I'm not reading from a script. I'm speaking from my heart because I want you to know that I mean what I say.
People don't believe it.
I say all of that. In 1994, we talked about the voters voted for. I lived through desegregation. I moved to the east side from Cottage Place Gardens. Yes, Cottage Place Gardens. The council president from Cottage Place Gardens. CCP from CPG. Yes, I sure enough came from Cottage. And that fire is still in me, so watch how you come for me. Understand? Thank you. Wow. I will forever
You're not helping those people. Those people that used to live in Cottage
what I do
ain't there no
know
more.
is
They
that
got
what you see in
removed.
front of you is not always the truth. The song goes, smiling faces sometimes tell lies.
I agree.
Watch those faces that you trust and believe, because it's not always what it seems.
Nobody
So the
believes
reason
that
why
face.
I'm voting the way I'm voting is because I see what I see. If
You don't
the
see the black
mayor
people that
gets
getting
a
kicked
fourth
out of the
term,
city?
you have the opportunity to go into that booth and vote him out, if
And
that's
we
what
will.
you want to do.
And we will.
If you don't like how I vote, you have the opportunity to go into the booth and vote
they
me
will.
out. But I'll tell you
And
one
we
thing.
will.
No one gave me anything, and no one can
Wilson
take it
Kimball
away.
did. Wilson
Everything I
Kimball gave
have
you this job.
is from
Zahi
God.
Jarrett,
January
Vinny
of last
Spano.
year, God told me that I was going to be the council president, and he came through. You
No,
can laugh about it, but I'm
Wilson
a woman
did.
of God, and I believe it wholehearted. He told me I was going to be council president, and guess what? Some of the organizations in this room endorsed me. I didn't get a penny. I didn't get a
Because they thought
body.
you were
I didn't get a
changed and you were
daggone
different,
thing,
but
but
you weren't.
social media clip to put on my page that I was endorsed. I was a black woman when I called on some of you to help me last year when I was running. I was a black woman when I was told by other black women that belong to institutions that represent black women on every political platform. I was a black woman when members of that organization who spoke last night said, we don't know you. I was a black woman that day.
Yes, you did.
I was a black woman when people said, I'm not supporting you, I'm supporting Mike Cater. I was a black woman when I begged you for your vote. I don't know how you voted when you went in the booth, but I know no one came for me before that primary. Everyone either stayed back, stayed out, or was with the other ones. And even when I won the primary, some of them decided to cross lines and go with the Republicans. I was a black woman then, and I'm a black woman today with integrity. So I stand on what I stand on, and I said what I said. I respect everything that you all have said, but it's time that I speak my truth. When some of you came up here and you spoke yesterday about how you're disappointed in us, I was disappointed when you lied to our mutual friends about what that petition was for, and you changed the date on it, but I'm not going to speak on that.
Wow.
I'm speaking my truth today. It's about time, because a lot of you are wondering why I am the way I am, and it's because no one gave me anything and no one can take it away. God gave me what I have.
Wilson Kimball did.
If ever I get voted out, it's on to bigger and better things, and I stand on that, and it's called faith.
Mike Jordan, please.
So
you sound like you know some stuff.
I appreciate you all. I
@gmail.com.
heard everything that you had to say, and I took it into consideration, and I thought, what was the best way to represent the interest of groups that vary? Some want the mayor to stay, some want him out of here. What am I supposed to do? I can't represent everyone when everyone's interest is different. My suggestion was, let's give the mayor another try, but let's put it right back to 3, because I'll be damned if I stand there taking the brunt of this, and other people get to benefit when they vote another way. So I support a referendum after this. Vote tonight. I support a referendum in January. The council cannot put forth a referendum, so all of these make it a referendum. There's a process. Let's educate ourselves so we know what that process is, so we can stop pointing the blame and work together to get it done. I wholeheartedly support a referendum. 1994, we talk about the referendum that passed. 1990, I moved into the townhouses June 12th, 1992. How do we know that that referendum wasn't to keep out the people that decided to uphold Judge Sands?
Simple.
Rule?
You put it to vote.
How do we know that the people in office didn't want them out because they finally decided to cave in to affordable housing on the east side? We don't know, because most of us were not there. As an attorney, and I'm sure the other attorney in the back can attest, when we read legislation, sometimes we look at what was the intent of that legislation. What was the intent of 1994? Was it to keep Yonkers racist? I don't know, because in 1994, I was still in high school and I wasn't able to vote. But I know I was living on the east side of Yonkers, and I know when I moved over there, there was a huge rock at the entrance of Gaffney Place that said, "Niggers go home." I remember that. So I can't speak to what happened in 1994. I can't speak to what happened in 2001. I wholeheartedly support a referendum for next year, and I wholeheartedly support another term for Mayor Mike Spano. So now you know where I stand.
You introduced it. We have no doubt where you stood. Just because your husband's not going to get a job next year doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And by the way that she spoke just now tells me that she doesn't care about that position and that she can't wait to get to the judge position. That's what that's all about. Because anyone looking to be in politics longer than her term would not have ever answered that like this. Crazy. Crazy. I don't know why you went and brought all your personal stuff in there. You should have did a whole news
thank you for recommending that I do that. But I am now going to yield the floor to the majority leader, Tasha Diaz. Please do. As I said, it's going to bigger and better. My God makes no mistakes. My God makes no mistakes.
He's not. But be careful with them feds.
Most of you probably didn't vote for me in the first place, but that's cool. Tasha Diaz, you have the floor.
Thank you, City Council President.
Yo, when we said little black puppet, I didn't call her that. I said that they're looking at you like you're a little black puppet, Lakeisha, and you just proved me right. You just proved me right.
And for bringing this legislation forth, because people like us, and when I say like us, we stick together, okay? Wow. You got people in here that are stating everything is about Mike Spano. No, it's not. It's not. It's about making sure you deliver for your district, okay? And when people say, my streets look like this and he hasn't done this, this is why you have people that you designate for certain districts. So if that person does not bring those roles back to him, they cannot be fixed. I sat here day after day and I listened to the phoniness, and the fakeness,
Wow.
and the smiling, and the going back and forth. The show is over. It ends today. Because let me tell you, y'all sit out here, y'all don't know what goes on in the back. They are playing you. They are playing on your intelligence. Because when we are back there, they're saying something else, and when they come out here, they're saying another story. Since I've been here, I've been real. And let me tell you, it's a lot of people that spoke today that was against me, and I still help you to this day. There are churches that are sitting in here that come to me, and I provide for your parishioners. Okay? And they come to me, they come to me. Well, now you say it's my job, but when I'm out there on the front line, you say it's not. And I have given to you as well. And I have given to you as well. When I became majority leader, I became majority leader to change the narrative. The narrative of being fake. The narrative of being phony.
Please allow the council members to speak. Thank you.
Yes. I changed the narrative of being fake, of being phony. Because let me tell you something. When this is all said and done, whichever way the vote goes, I bet you 9 times out of 10, from tomorrow if I come here, I'll see everybody that was in opposition leaving the second floor. Okay? And I say that because, yes, I say that because y'all are not keeping it 100%. You got people that came up here and said, I fight for this one, I fight for that one. And then when their cheerleaders go home, like I said, I'll be seeing them leaving the second floor. Begging. Yes, begging. Begging. You're one of them. Begging.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've sat there. No. I sat there and let you disrespect me.
What ghetto ratchet! I can't wait till you all go down. I can't wait.
Let you disrespect me time after time. I've had flip-flops thrown in my face, okay? I've had a rally at a food distribution, all because I wanted to give back. I may be one of the hardest working council people sitting here.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
I might be one of the hardest
guy behind her. He's like, I gotta record this shit.
Here. I'm out in my district, and I make sure I provide for my district.
Stop talking in the gallery, you will be asked to leave.
And I have been the voice.
This is the Spano legacy. You're right.
Yes. I've been the voice for the voiceless. Okay?
Wow.
And before we even came here, myself and city council president was attacked by certain groups that didn't even give us the common courtesy to even say anything. And then I got 2 people that are supposed to be my colleagues that are playing the game with them. My point is, I support my city council president because she supported me. Like she said, I've always been a black woman. And when we came to certain black entities, they turned their back on us. Everything that I have, I've worked for. I've worked for everything that I have.
No, you have not. Stop lying. I work for everything I have. I've never relied on taxpayer money. None of you have done that.
At 21 years old.
None of you.
I've been giving back. And
you ain't getting nothing back.
Money, it means nothing. Because what I'm doing now, advocating, I did that for free. Okay? I was doing that for free before I came here. That right there is the face of ignorance. Because at the end of the day, she's one-sided. She doesn't want to hear what anybody has to say. But that's the problem.
You guys are going to all get voted out. You're out.
But that's the problem.
What a fucking...
You don't want to hear the real.
What a fucking shit show. Excuse my language. By the way, I got a cousin named Erwin Spano.
And when it doesn't go
You
their
gotta
way,
hear what he
now it's
said.
a
I got him
problem.
recorded.
At the end of the day, nobody gave me anything. When I was knocking on doors and pounding the pavement, it was me and my daughter. Okay, I could count on my hand how many times.
Is that the one that's going to the police
helped me.
the police academy?
But after I got into office, I could tell you how many times my phone rang for help. Off the hook.
Because you're the freaking council
Like
president.
I
Who
said,
else is
city
gonna call?
council president.
And you don't help.
We are here because we come from the
Look at
same.
the pedophile. Can you move out the way, pedophile?
That's why we are here, to make change.
Look at that. Look at the DPW guys. Look at city employees getting ready to fight with city residents. City employees getting ready to fight with city residents because they had city employees come up in here to be intimidating. And this is a problem. This is a problem. Everybody, we are going to sue, all right? Please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. I am going to sue the shit out these people. I need you folks with me. Screw this shit right here. You see Vinny stand over there? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You people are sick. You made me sick. Make me sick. Calling us out. Look at these DPW guys being intimidating to women and regular citizens. Unbelievable. And who brought them up there? We have the text messages. We have the audio. Wait till we give this to the feds. Wait till we give what we got to the feds. Is that you, Erwin? Is that you and your wife? Erwin Vasquez, my cousin, who said all the panels took care of me and my wife during the pandemic. Everybody else suffered. That's why you over there kissing ass, saying the stupid shit that you're saying. How dare you say that I need to go somewhere else if I don't like the conditions of the schools here? What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, she gonna keep coming for me.
You guys just made yourselves hot. Get in this panel. You guys just made yourselves hot. You're right. This is the Jerry Springer Show. That's why I'm tired of this shit. And that's why a lot of people are tired of this shit. We're tired of the Jerry Springer Show, the ghetto ratchetness. It's embarrassing to me as a minority, as a Puerto Rican, as a Latino. I'm embarrassed by that. My wife is black. I'm embarrassed by that. And Lakeisha, we didn't want to hear none of your personal business because I can tell you about my personal business. You don't know what I've been through. What about the fake CPS calls trying to target my business? Bringing a black woman down. You and your chief of staff try to set me up for porn, child pornography, bringing down a black woman's husband and family. And you sit there and cry about little black puppet? You kidding me, man? You kidding me? That was all an act. You're not a good actress. You're not a good actress. You're even worse of an actress than you are a city council president. And if you're an attorney, then go be an attorney. Get out of here. Because if you got to deal with all this and you can't do your job effectively, then get up out of here. Get up out of here. Right? Nobody asked for you. Wilson Kimball brought you here. Zahi Jerris brought you here. Vinny Spano brought you here. And I'm going to play the video. You said it yourself. You said it yourself. Unbelievable. Disgusting. And the fact that they had these DPW guys up there to intimidate people. That's disgusting. Disgusting. Let's go back to this.
Otherwise, we will clear the gallery and continue our business.
This ratchetness. This hood ratchetness. Yeah, she's a Spano puppet. She's trying to make the little black puppet comment like I said it to her. I didn't say it to you. What I said was that they're looking at you like your little black puppet. That's what I said. And look at what you're doing. Look how you got black women arguing and screaming and government. Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Mr. Clerk, please conduct a roll.
Councilman Moretti.
On the matter of extending term limits?
Minority Leader Breen.
Yes.
Majority Whip Rubio.
Yes.
Majority Leader Diaz.
Yes.
Councilmember Pineda Isaac.
No.
Councilmember Williams.
No.
Council President Collins Bellamy.
Yes.
They sold all of Warburton. It's changing zoning plan. Folks, if you live on Warburton and you're black, just know she sold you out. They're changing the zoning laws, meaning that they're going to kick you out to movie studios. Trevor Park is done. FK Marina is done. Black people will be moved for movie studios over there in Warburton, Ravine, and Woodworth. That is why they hooked those few people up from Ravine, Woodworth, and Warburton. Because they wanted them to stay quiet. That's why. You guys have to see what's happening.
Minority Leader Green.
We can make a motion to reconsider.
Do we have a second? Councilman Rubo, seconds. We'll take a roll call vote to reconsider.
Councilman Moranti.
No.
Pass.
It's a motion to reconsider. Do you want to reconsider the vote?
No.
Minority Leader Breen.
No.
Majority Whip Rubo.
No.
Majority Leader Diaz.
No.
Councilman Pineda Isaac.
No.
Councilmember Williams.
No.
Council President Collins Bowman.
No.
Today we witness democracy being stolen from the people.
We're taking items out of order.
Yes,
We
we
have
got
witnessed
to
democracy.
move to item number 5. It's a resolution to issue a determination of significance pursuant to the secret relating to an amendment to General Ordinance 4, 2000, also known as zoning map, to reclassify and rezone the properties located at 312, 316, 322 Warburton Avenue from a BR district to a B
There you
district.
go, Warburton, folks.
I
Listen
will
to
open the
this.
floor for
They're
discussion on this
changing the
item.
zoning
We'll
laws
begin
over
with
there, Warburton. They're
Councilman
going to put
Rubo.
movie studios and kick
Thank you,
guys
Council
out.
President. I'm happy to support this. This ordinance is going to build more than 50 units of affordable senior housing.
Senior.
I think it's very important.
black folks.
It's
for you,
a
it's
very
seniors.
important project for
We're not
our
gonna have
community
any
and our
for
city,
seniors.
and I look forward to supporting this.
But
Thank
what
you.
they're doing is they're building senior homes. Get out. I don't even care what you guys got to say anymore. I don't even care what they got to say right now. All they're doing right there is changing zoning laws. That's all they're doing right there. This is bullish.
More senior affordable housing, and that's what this will provide. So changing the zone to accommodate that is, something that I support. I know that there were some people who came out with concerns, wondering what kind of, housing is going to go there, and concerns about the traffic and so on. But I want to ensure people that there's still a process. They'll still have an opportunity before this project is shovel ready for them to continue to be a part of that process. So I do support.
Folks, what they're doing is they're building senior housing, right? So what they use is the senior housing thing as an excuse to change the zoning laws, right? Because they really want to bring in the movie studios. And then it also allows for more senior housing so these investors could come in here and buy up the seniors' houses and say, hey, why don't you downsize? Let's buy your house over on the east side. Move over to the senior building, the new ones, the affordable ones by the water. That's what it's all about. They're taking your homes and changing zoning laws.
Located at 312, 316, 322 Warburton Avenue from BR district to a B district.
I will open the floor for discussion on this item. Seeing none, I will close the floor and bring this item to a vote. Mr. Clerk, all members by name.
Adopted 7-0. Moving on to item number 8.
6.
I'm sorry, item number 6. It's a resolution to adopt the Ludlow Master Plan.
I will open the floor for discussion on this item.
Remember the Domino Sugar Factory attorney was there in
For the
regards to
record, I want
this.
to state we did speak with counsel and the planning department to confirm that the documents that were stated in the committee of a whole are in fact in the document. So it is whole.
Is it?
Thank you.
The attorney
If
didn't
there is
think
no
so,
discussion,
and he
we will
was
close the floor
protesting
and
it.
bring this matter to a vote. Mr. Clerk, all members by name.
Adopted 7-0. Item number 3, it's the general ordinance amending the zoning code of the city of Yonkers and accompanying tables by creating a new zoning district known as
Wow, look at the
designated
zoning
at the
changes.
Ludlow Mixed
Look at the
Use
zoning
District.
changes.
I'll open the floor for discussion on this
You're
item.
gonna go to jail for that.
Seeing none, I will close the floor for discussion and bring this item to a vote. Mr. Clerk, all members by name.
Adopted 7-0. Item number 4 is special ordinance authorizing
How fast they
acceptance of
going?
state grant funding from New York State Development.
All right, so that's about the grant stuff. B District Zoning Ordinance. The purpose and intent of the B1 zoning district is as follows. B1 Neighborhood Business Districts is intended to provide commercial areas of limited size for basic trade and personal services for the convenience of adjacent residential areas for needs recurring regularly or infrequently, or frequently, I should say, right? So they're changing that stuff because they're going to be putting movie studios there. And so that's what it's all about. And they're doing a lot of zoning changes.
For an existing Walgreens store and pharmacy at 1230 Nippahan Avenue.
I'll open the floor for discussion on this item. Seeing none, I will close the floor and bring this item to a vote. Mr. Clerk, all members by name.
Adopted 7-0. Item number 8 is a resolution approving an IMA by and between the City of Yonkers and the County of Westchester to accept community services for the elderly transportation service. This is 2000.
That's unbelievable what I just witnessed there. It's unbelievable what I just witnessed there.
To a vote. Mr. Clerk, all members by name.
They brought Vinny in to do it quickly.
7-0. Item number 9, a resolution approving an IMA by and between the City of Yonkers and the County of Westchester to accept community services for the elderly, information and assistance.
Intermunicipal agreements. So you see that they're doing a lot of zoning changes. They're just changing the zonings all over Yonkers in order to put movie studios all throughout Yonkers. There are going to be a lot of movie studios down in the Warburton area. And folks, again, there's a reason why those small businesses closed down, right? You had Legacy Denim, you had Yum Yum, the Chinese restaurant, the bodega there is going to also close down. There's a reason why they're closing down. They're changing zoning laws. They're going to be putting movie studio stuff. A lot of the apartments, too, are going to be gone.
I understand that we're going to hold over item number 10, which will appear in the next stated council meeting.
I don't even care. Listen, folks, what we just saw was crazy there. I was unbelievable. I can't believe the ratchetness of this city council meeting. It's like they were angry at the people because the people wanted an opportunity to vote on this. That's crazy. And Shanae, you fake, yo. You fake. Shanae, you all the way fake. You all the way fake. It's almost like she wanted to let it be known that, you know, she was in support of the term extension. It's not really that, because I do support Mayor Spano, right? It's just, you know, it's about the principle and stuff, because she could try to seem like she has some integrity, try to make herself feel like she's doing the right thing, right? She knows it's going to pass. She knows it's going to pass without a doubt. And so she was voting no to make herself look good. Corazon, I was surprised, but Corazon, it's just a little too late. As much as I appreciate what you said, and you had the best to say, it's just a little too late, you know, and the inconsistencies of how you voted many times in the city council chambers is the reason why we're here today. Okay, you should have never voted for it in 2018. That was the problem. Right? Exactly. You know, that's how some people get, though. I got mine. It's unfortunate. I've seen this a lot as a Puerto Rican. You know, we get to the top and like, we got ours. Look at these two. We got ours, right? And they don't look out for the other people. And honestly, why I do what I do now, you know, today before the meeting and stuff, I was out giving out lunches again that we paid for. We had students from a local high school, put them together, and then I went out and delivered them. And, you know, I was supposed to have some students meet up, but I guess, you know, the timing and stuff, but I still go anyway. I want to do it. And why is it that I do that? Why did I come back? Why did I come back to the community and give myself and out of my own pocket my time? Because I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to, my life, you know, when I look back at a certain age and say, Freddie, what was your life all about? And yeah, it would have been say, yeah, I made some good money. You know, I did this, I did that. I drove that car, drove this car, I had this house, I had that, you know, but really, is that meaningful? It's not. And so I came to a point in my life where I said, I have to do something more meaningful, something with more purpose. I don't want to be that guy, that Latino that left the community because he was able to make it out and didn't come back, didn't turn, didn't look back. Because now I understand, especially as I've had more experiences in the business world, that, you know, it's not just a matter of people need to do it for themselves or they're lazy. It's not. Sure, there are a lot of lazy people, but they're everywhere, right? We see guys at DPW who are lazy, all colors, right? And they're there because they're relative, right? So laziness is among all people. But a lot of the issues with people who come from, impoverished communities is they don't have opportunities. They don't have the knowledge, the education, the resources to get themselves out of poverty. And this council with 4 black women, pretty much, Corazon is black too, she just speaks Spanish, supermajority has done nothing to address the fact that there is a huge wealth disparity here, income inequality, and blacks are actually on the losing end of this. Out of all the demographics, blacks are on the losing end. They're getting it the worst. Their population size is diminishing here in the city of Yonkers because they cannot stay here. They cannot afford to stay here. There are no opportunities for them here. There are no jobs for them here. I don't care how many times they say they're going to be bringing in jobs, like my cousin, Erwin Spano Vasquez. He says the mayor brings in the big money, the deep pockets, but they're not here to provide anything for the people. They're here to do business and make more money, Erwin. Unbelievable that you would say such things.
Minority leader brain.
Considering where you grew up, and it's funny because my cousin who was in front of me, his name is Erwin Vasquez, there with his wife, they both work for the city. He told me, he said, the Spanos took care of me during the pandemic. They took care of me and my wife. So I get it. You have that allegiance to them because if it wasn't for the Spanos, your best friend, Vinny, you were his best man at his wedding. If it wasn't for him, you would have been like many other Americans who had to struggle because they lost their jobs, because the company that they worked for closed, because their business had to close. So I get it. I get why you say such ridiculous things. But I can't be like that. I can't say things like that. 63% of the student body here in the city of Yonkers is Latino, Hispanic, Erwin, like you. 75% of them are living, or the total student population are living at or below the poverty line. That's a lot of Hispanics, Erwin. They don't all get to be best friends with Vinny Spano and get a job, Erwin, because they can't get it on their own. Not everybody's as fortunate as you, Erwin. Me and you, the tale of 2 family members, right? You got the city hookup, taxpayer money, feeding your family, and I went out into the free market and I got mine. I didn't rely on them. And that is why I come back and I see that this is not okay. It's not okay. Blacks and Latinos and whites as well. But I'm just basing it off statistics. Statistically, the most demographics who are impoverished are blacks and Latinos here in the city of Yonkers. And that has not changed, Erwin. That has not changed in all the years. That has not changed. I grew up poor in Yonkers. Most of my family still poor in Yonkers. Why did I do better? I attribute it to leaving Yonkers. Like that man did, his name was Che, the guy who spoke up, young man, 28 years old, works for the DA's office in the Bronx, had to leave Yonkers. Said many of my friends who graduated here in Yonkers left Yonkers because they could not afford it here, nor they can find any opportunities here. Because really, what industries are there? What industry? Working for the city. Working for the city, Erwin. So while you and your wife take up jobs in the city and other relatives, there are many others who don't have that opportunity, Erwin, and that is all I'm saying. And for you to sit there and laugh and think it's funny that people are getting kicked out of their homes, evicted, because these investors want those properties, because the movie studio wants the property, and you sit there and you think it's funny, telling me to get out the basement. That's what he says to me. You need to get out the basement. You grew up in a basement, Erwin. I remember going to your family's house, Erwin. Wasn't luxury. Don't get it twisted. I know the Spanos took you in, but you're not a Spano. And you're not anything other than Erwin Vasquez, a Puerto Rican man who grew up poor in Yonkers. And you should know better. And Lakeisha talking about cottage and CPG. I know all about that too. I grew up in Yonkers. Was I part of CPG? No. Everywhere there were cliques. She's talking about cliques. I don't want to say gangs. I don't want to say it like that. It sounds really more bad, but it's not. It's like, cliques. You can call it a gang if you want to guess. Right? But that's what we do growing up in the hood. So for you to sit there and shout that out like this is some hip hop concert at this city council meeting for one of the most important votes that you probably will ever make as city council president is unprofessional. And it diminishes the hard work that minorities like you and I, or at least myself and others, have done to change the perception that people have of us. Wrong, misguided perceptions. But how can they be misguided when you're speaking that way and Tasha Diaz is speaking that way at a city council meeting? The city council president and the majority leader speaking to constituents, residents, people of the city who oppose another term in a manner that suggests you wanted to fight them. We don't care. We don't care what you guys think. They didn't vote you in there so we can tell us about how you feel on your personal level. You should have left that out. We all got shit, Lakeisha. All of us. You ain't the only one. And that comes with the territory. So if you're going to accept a position, you have to accept that there may be a time where you have to go and show up even when you don't want to. And I think many of us have been there. So for you to sit there and ask for this sympathy, although you say you weren't asking for none, then why the hell you say it? If you ask me, you were. You were trying to justify your lack of consideration, your lack of effort, and the fact that you, quite frankly, don't give a damn. And nobody is diminishing your husband's career by saying that he will be a police officer soon here in the city of Yonkers. And while, listen, a correctional officer is a great career, and I know many, Yonkers police officers make more money. Just bottom line. Okay? Bottom line. Who wouldn't want to take an opportunity to make more money? And we might even say significantly more money. He just took the test last year, and he's already getting put on. Where does that happen? For who does that happen? Especially if you're black here in the city of Yonkers. Stop it. Tonight was a great awakening for all political spectrums waking up. 1,000%. They have no clue what they just did tonight. No clue. The arrogance, the entitlement. They basically just said, we run shit. You don't. Shut up. We're going to do this. I don't care what you got to say. That's basically what I got from it. They have just awakened Yonkers. The people are going to be more determined than ever to vote them out. More determined than ever. And this is what I said. We knew this was going to happen. We just wanted you to know that we didn't appreciate the disrespect and that we were not supporting it. We know that the real battle is November 2023, maybe June. And at that point in time, the people will show you exactly who we are. And we will vote you out. And what you all did was motivate us to assure that we do that and that we do not lose the energy going into next year. And I promise you that I will stay right on here. It doesn't matter if they are trying to get me arrested somehow, finagle something, if they're attacking my business and my family with CPS. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be right here on Basement Politics. I'm going to be definitely more involved because after today, I realize what my purpose is. I realize why I'm here in Yonkers and why we have not left. So don't worry, folks. While the devil was at work tonight in the city council chambers, God always wins. And we have God on our side. And we have truth on our side. And we have the people on our side. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. They don't care about the people, not at all. It's obvious. It's obvious. If you cared about the people, you would have said, look, a lot of people want this to be put on a vote. Let's put in a vote. Why don't you let the people vote? Why? Think about it. They have not answered that question. Why did you not let the people vote? Why? What's the difference? What is it to you guys? Think about it. What is it to you guys? If a lot of people want, fuck it. Let's put it to vote and then let it be what it is. If you truly believe that people want it, then it will be. So why not put it to a vote? Why not put it to a referendum? I don't understand. They've yet to answer that. I mean, we know, but they've never answered it. Sure, they told us why they feel they want to extend the term limits, but they never told us why they refuse to allow the people to vote. They were so unprofessional. I just witnessed a third world country politicians. Absolutely. Horrible. Horrible. And what's sad is that, again, as a Puerto Rican, I'm serious. It does affect, that bothers me. And I have to say that because I feel that way. People looking at this, and I've always had to deal with that. Always getting judged by the behaviors of other people. There's so many talented and smart, intelligent, wonderful, great Hispanic and blacks as well as white, but I'm talking about my people here for a second. So many here in the city. And some of them went up to speak last night and tonight. And those are the people I wish I could see on our city council because they spoke well, they carried themselves well. They're the type of people that command respect. They don't have to yell and curse at you to get it or threaten you. And that's why we need change, because there's so many great and wonderful people of all races, all groups, all sides that deserve to be representing us, that need to be representing us. And this, what we saw tonight, is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. An embarrassment. And Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, I don't know what you think you did there tonight by going off on whoever you were going off on. And I know that you were speaking to me at some points. The little black puppet comment, that was definitely me. Your husband becoming a Yonkers police officer, that was possibly me, but a lot of people have said that. You becoming a judge, I've said that many times, and others as well. But here is what I was saying, and I want to be very clear to you, Lakeisha. I want to be very clear to you. I didn't call you a little black puppet. I didn't say you were a little black puppet. What I said was that the folks that are pulling those strings are looking at you like they're little black puppet, and they're celebrating tonight because their puppet did a great job. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Time to come out and begin the process of voting them out. It begins today. Let's go, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm up out of here. I'm pissed off. They're afraid to hear the people weigh in, even as they praise their own success. What's wrong with that picture? Everything. Everything is wrong with that picture. It wasn't okay when Trump wanted to do this and people let him know. It wasn't okay when Trump wanted to extend term limits and now it's okay. Yes, because that is unfortunately how humans can be, hypocrites. But I've noticed that a lot with Democrats. I'm a Democrat, but I've seen the hypocrisy in Democrats, right? My body, my choice, except for the vaccine. right? We need term limits. Trump, we can't have him in there, except when it comes to Mike Spano and the Democrats. Mike Breen, a Republican, went against his own party. He went against his own party. And honestly, folks, all of them just about committed political suicide. They did. They committed political suicide. So what that tells me is that they don't care about even the position that they're in, because they know the position that they really want is not on the council. It's in one of those $140,000 city jobs that they can hold on to for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So as long as they do their bidding while on the council and get whatever legislation passed that the puppet master wants passed, they're going to get those jobs and they're going to be good because they were unable to make it in the free market and they need the taxpayer money to survive. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. I can't believe what I saw. I cannot believe what I saw. That's unbelievable. Lakeisha, you let your people down. Tasha, you let your people down. Shanae, you let your people down too, Shanae. You was half-stepping. Look at your district, Shanae. You represent District 1. What have you done? What have you all done that you tout and praise so much? What has the mayor done that you guys praise so much? I'm confused. Luxury developments is all that has changed here in Yonkers. That's it, right? Am I missing something? Only luxury developments, the only new things that's been added. They're not for everybody. The studios are pushing people out, closing small businesses. People out on the street are telling me they're getting evicted. Their rents are going up. They're having to move. How many people have told me at this point that they're going to move out of Yonkers? Florida or Pennsylvania. Nobody wants to go to Newburgh, although I hear Newburgh is actually on the up and coming. It's Black and Latinos, and I'm talking about this specific group because it was a Black woman who introduced this legislation. It was a Black woman that got up there and defended this legislation. A Black woman that tried to sell it to the people like this was the right thing to do when we all know damn well this is impacting Black people negatively. And anyone that supports this and you're Black, you're Hispanic, you're getting something from it. Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. Everyone that was up in there worked for the city, damn near. Everyone, except for those who oppose it. If Lakeisha identifies with and cares so much about the people in low-income housing, right? Then why is she usurping the people's authority to decide on a term limit on behalf of a 3-term mayor who think that all he has to do to win the Black vote is hand out some turkeys for Thanksgiving and dance like a goofball to a DMX tune on occasion? And don't forget, he also gave out hot chocolate to little Black children. I should have brought my kids. They missed out on the hot chocolate. The least you could do. I mean, they are impoverished and nothing's changed. You haven't provided anything for them or their families. Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. And the Spanos didn't even start the downtown development. Wait till that starts. Luxury developments pushing minorities out to nowhere is not growth, is monarchy. Absolutely, 1,000%. It's sad. Folks, listen to the Latinos. Latinos, listen. Let's boycott these businesses, right? Latino business owners who were supporting this, like Alfonso, La Piñata. Y'all guys not gonna let them know. You gotta let them know. We're not supporting you no more. You don't support us. You don't support your people. Is Mike Spano going up into your bakery? Well, a lot of the politicians like to go up into Dos Marias and, drink and do karaoke. But I noticed that Folks, if you are a business and you open up and you play the game, right? You pay to play, you will get city employees start to come to your business. I noticed that. So I would imagine, and I'm getting this information, that there's like a vendors list. I don't know if you ever, like a vendors list, city has, let's say your house catches on fire, you have to knock it down, you don't know who to call. The city will provide you with a vendor list, right? And you can pick one of those, official vendors of the city, which they're crooks. I wouldn't, don't get your own. That's all I'm saying, right? So anyway, yeah, they're supposed to provide you with a vendors list, right? And say, listen, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. I'm so tired, I forgot. Anyway, folks, these people are not doing anything for us. I'm just saddened by it. I'm very upset. I'm glad I left. I would have been too upset. I'm gonna get up out of here. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sellouts, man. We got sold out. That's hard. People don't want to go against him and his appointed mob because they want favors. That's what it is. Let's just be honest. That's what it really is. All right. All the jokes aside, like I said, my cousin Erwin was there with his wife. He told me they looked out for him during the pandemic. I guess he lost his job. I don't know, but they took care of him, the Spanos, right? They got him and his wife a job. And then you got, all the DPW guys that were there. They have to go there. That's their jobs. Right? You have police officers. They're not all the police officers. The police were there. They were good. I like the cops. They're always friendly to me. They weren't booing or nothing like that. But, these people are there that work for the city. Tasha Diaz ain't never had a damn thing in her life until she became majority leader or a councilwoman. And now she feels like she's somebody, right? She's got some kind of, something in life. Right? And the other one's Mike Breen. Everybody knows he's going to get a job. His wife is demanding it. He's not going to run again. He doesn't want to. He's lazy, don't want to. He's not going to run again. He wants a job. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, why do you think she said that? She go, my husband doesn't need a job. He's not going to be a cop. I'm not going to be a judge. Yes, you are. It may not be to next week or a year from now, but it's going to happen. And then when it does, what are you going to say? Right? You're going to look like a liar. The DPW guys were acting like a bunch of hugs. No, they were, and look, man, I don't know how you guys could be okay with going to DPW guys, right? You guys booing people. Boo me, cool, whatever. But you're booing elderly women. You're booing women. You're being loud. You're being rude. You're being obnoxious to women, right? Women that did nothing to you. Nothing. It's not like they voted on some legislation that's pushing people out or voting on legislation that's causing our rents to go up, like, they're doing. These are women that you don't even know, that just wanted to come and speak their mind, their piece. And you guys were very rude and disrespectful to them, man. And it just goes to show, the group of individuals maybe that work at DPW. Guys, it's not cool, man. Lakeisha telling her truth during the meeting, but at the end, ignoring the truth and respect for the voters. That wasn't her truth. I could see it on her face. That was such an act. That was an act. She was acting. You couldn't even get tears out. Lakeisha. Those things that come out of your eyes when you're really sad and upset about something, like when the tears were coming out of my wife's eyes, like the tears were coming out of my eyes, having to see my wife cry. Those are real tears, Lakeisha. Those are real tears. Did you go to Ruros and say, hey, Ruros, you know what? That's an ugly article and stuff that you're doing to that man. And even though he may speak about me negatively, that's still a black woman. That's still a black woman business owner. You didn't do that. Even if I would have never made the comment, little black puppet, you would have never did that. And I wasn't calling you a little black puppet, but you know that. You know that. You're just going to twist it. You're just going to twist it. But you didn't say nothing to him. Why didn't you take the high road? Be the better person. You are the politician, right? You are the elected official, right? No. But why would you? I know how you are already. Even before that comment, little black puppet. You already trying to take me and my wife down. You already trying to hurt us. And we know. And that is why I smile today. Because when it's all said and done, I will get the last laugh. And so will the people. And I can't wait for that day. Because you guys know what you did. Venezuelans are literally walking to cross the border seeking political asylum because of the so-called democratic system implemented by its tyrant dictatorships for the affluent. That's right. That is all they're looking out is for the people with money, the business owners, the investors, the developers, the movie studio guys, and the Spano family. And all the other families that have hoarded the jobs here in the city of Yonkers. That's all they're looking for. That's all they're supporting. That's all they represent. They don't represent the people. And so Lakeisha, knowing that what she was about to do was wrong, thought she'd preface it by talking about a tragedy that she suffered very recently. I don't know if she was attempting to get us to be sympathetic or to be like understanding of why she's going to make a wrong decision. I don't know what that point was. But it was not the place and time for that. Not the place and time. Not the place and time. And it doesn't matter what you said, because at the end of the day, you still made the wrong decision. And you still sold your people out. Council seats 135. Let's boot them out next year. That's right. So, folks, I'm going to get up out of here. It's 1:30, minute 30, whatever, hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to get out of here. I said, again, John Cater, and this, I'm not with John Cater. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way, John. I mean that the Caters are not behind me. Okay? They don't give me money. They don't do nothing. Right? But he's supporting people who want to run. But you got to be able to get on the ballot. You got to be able to get the signatures on the petition. And you got to have a realistic chance of winning. You got to have a realistic reality to it all. Okay? I'm just saying. Because there's some people out there, I'm just saying. All right? Just, you have to be, reasonable. You have to be, can I really do this? Okay? Is it really possible? And you can reach out to him if you really could do it. And why? What is it about you? What do you think you can bring? Because this is real now. We need some serious people. This is getting real. So we want to get the best of the best. And no disrespect to nobody. I'm just saying. They're going to come hard. They're going to do everything to make sure that they win those elections next year. So we have to come, and bring our best. And we have to be on point. And I'm going to be all up involved in it. So please, if you are someone that wants to, interested in running, you think you can get on the ballot, you think you can get the signatures, you have some support. You have a lot of support already. I mean, I get it. I know everyone wants to run, but we have to make sure that, what I'm saying? Maybe I'll run it, but you have to have support. So gauge your support first. Gauge, can you really do this? And are you ready to go the distance? You have to prepare yourself. You're going to have to knock on doors. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I'm telling you, by the time you get to the 5th house, you're going to be, especially if you got to climb up the steps. So you got to be ready for this if you want to do it. What a babbling idiot. Who's that, me? Or Lakeisha? I don't know. Which one, Travis? Who? You got to say the name so we don't get confused. I'm thinking you're talking about them. Or me. I don't know. Okay, tomorrow, okay, tomorrow starts a new day. If there is a referendum to return term limits in November and Spano runs and wins in November, if term limits are restored, does that cancel Spano win? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Although they're actually in Clarkstown, and I want to put this article up. So again, this is happening a lot of places. What's happening in Yonkers is not unique to Yonkers. In Clarkstown, they're actually having this same dispute thing here. And one of the the things that they're considering is extending term limits, right? And then not factoring in the amount of time that the elected officials already served. So basically, once they pass this, right, like we got it here, once they pass it, then basically the elected officials that are in office now pretty much can start over. So if they, have 16 years, you could do 4 4-year terms. They're not going to count any of the terms that they did before. They're basically saying, okay, it starts fresh. Now you can do another 4 terms. We are under attack. I have to say, we are under attack. Our democracy is under attack from top down. I think the Chinese have actually, China, not just Chinese people, okay? I don't want to be people raised. China has officially taken over the United States. It got to be a unified effort. We have to choose the best person qualified to do the people's work and have community best interests at heart. 1,000%. I think at this point, everybody is against them. It is. So whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're, black, brown, white, yellow, purple, orange, tall, short, right? Man or woman, we all have kind of a common cause here. We have a common cause. And so we need to come together. We have to organize. So again, anyone that's out there that wants to be a part of this movement, please reach out to me. politicwithfred@gmail.com. politicwithfred@gmail.com. And it's not just me. I'm not saying reach out to only me, like it's just me. I'm saying reach out to me, and then I will, help you get out to everybody else if and then help me get out to everybody else. So if you know someone or, groups, people that are organizing, reach out to me, and I want to join you guys. And then I want you guys to join me, and then we're going to join each other. And then we're going to be one big conjoined voter block that's going to vote these people the hell up out of here. I'm Freddie Vasquez, and I'm definitely going to get up out of here now. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did. It never will. We have to demand it and support the candidates that want to primary them. You are 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. And we must demand it. And that is why I'm so fiery. So please excuse me. I'm not trying to be aggressive. I don't want that. But I'm very passionate and fired up about this. And I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to start. So folks, again, let's get in contact. Let's meet up. Let's organize. Let's plan. Let's strategize. Let's put this together and let them know the people are pissed off and we are coming next year, 2023. I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm going to say that 5 times, right? Now I'm really up out of here for sure. My wife always jokes with me you, how many times are you going to say that before you leave? Vasquez, this was vote to extend term limits. The meeting, listen, it was interesting though, right? It was kind of fun to watch the end. Well, folks, it looks like the mayor and the city council will have another term, so they will be running for re-election next year, of course. Except, no, they're all going to be running. I think. I don't know if Green's going to run. I'm still I don't know. I don't know if he's going to run. But that's how it is. That's it. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles, folks. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Have a great night. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. And to the individuals that I've met recently in the past few days, please reach out to me or text me your information, so I can have it. I definitely want to get in contact with you guys because we have to do this. We have to do this. I'm up out of here. I'm outie. Jeez, it's not it. I can't believe they did that shit. I can't believe that. I'm so disappointed. You sold this out. Tomorrow, folks, join me. I will be coming on tomorrow evening. I want to present facts. Let's get the numbers. Let's get the data. How has the city done since Mike Spano's been in office? Let's look at his past 12 years. Has Mike Spano done such a great job that it warranted the council completely destroying democracy to add a 4th term? Let's find out tomorrow. Make sure you join me. Send me your facts. If you have some, I'm going to be researching facts. Send me whatever you have, and let's look at it. Did he really do a good job, or were we bamboozled?
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
By the way, you hear those babies' little voices right there? You hear those kids' voices? You guys attacked their parents. You gave them a CPS case, attacked their business, a business that we were trying to build for those two little babies right there. Black and brown babies. You guys were a part of it.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No! Yeah, that's right. You attacked that family, so I don't have no sympathy for any of you at all whatsoever. Folks, it's time to vote these people out. Unbelievable. Now the feds are really good. Yo, the feds are watching. The federales, they are watching, folks. And what we saw tonight is blatant corruption. Bye.